Hello and welcome to Refresh with Dawn Herring, where observation transforms. And this is the way I see it as artist, aspiring musician, journal keeper, and full-time grandma. This is where we talk about awareness, attitude, and intuition, and how they lead to more confident decision-making and aligned living. I know I see, I choose to be transformed from the heart. I love, I see, I choose to be aligned from the start, because the way I see it matters. In the following episode of the Way I See It podcast, we will talk about how the key of awareness can bring us to a place of personal empowerment as we deliberately choose whether we will look through the lens of resistance or flow, and how it impacts how we feel on a daily basis. Thank you for listening. Welcome to episode 4 of the Way I See It podcast, which I have titled Resistance or Flow. Today I want to share a very important question that I sometimes ask myself, as well as my grandson. Are you having a flow day or a resistance day? Now, why would I ask such a question? Because it lends itself to an activating of awareness that we may not have had before. If we don't ask the question, we often live on autopilot or simply by habit, not realizing the loss of power we can experience since we're just letting life happen as it does. And often we're not very happy, feeling depleted and even exhausted, and not know exactly why. We want to feel energized and aligned with each day we experience. But how do we do that? I think it's a matter of being intentional about what kind of day we want to have. And every choice we make with our actions and attitude can really make all the difference in how we experience life. We all know what it feels like to be in flow. There's a specific ease in which we engage with our tasks, even mundane ones we deal with every day, such as washing dishes, vacuuming, not my favorite thing, folding laundry, or taking out the trash. And we especially experience that state of flow when we are engaging with something we truly enjoy, such as something art or music-based, or being out in our garden or in the woods. But it's the nitty-gritty of daily life, such as answering the phone or choosing how we will respond in conversation, or what we will do next to check off our to-do list, where we can feel our choice the most. I think it's the attitude we choose to take on from moment to moment that can actually determine the energy in which we move, whether it's based in angst, annoyance, or even anger, versus appreciation, gratitude, joy, or even elation. Our bodies feel the energy of the choice we make, whether it's resistance or flow. When we choose resistance, we can feel our shoulders tighten up, or our stomach clench, or a desire to block the flow of our heart chakra by folding our arms across our chest. When we choose flow, we are open. Our shoulders lift. We feel lighter and more buoyant. And we may even find ourselves laughing or engaging our sense of humor just because it comes naturally in that state. However, I do want to make a distinction concerning the varying situations we may be experiencing that impact how we can choose how we respond in our daily lives with either resistance or flow. There are times when our intuition is saying no to something. This is a gift of discernment we are given so we can protect ourselves from danger, harm or trouble up ahead. We should always pay very close attention during those times and not go against what our intuition is telling us to do. I'm also not referring to situations completely out of our control, such as dealing with the direct impact of war or acute trauma or severe illness. My heart and prayers go out to anyone who is experiencing such trauma or tragedy. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm simply referring to those times when we choose resistance simply because we are not at peace with what is, with what we need to do in our daily lives. For example, I must admit, I don't like doing dishes. No matter how many times I try to get into the flow with it, it's a task I just want to get over with and be done. So I feel tired afterwards. Of course, I'm glad for an empty sink and dishes in the cupboard ready to be used. Yes, it's nice to have an orderly environment, and I've trained myself to do them right away after a meal for ease of cleanup, but I don't want to do it. I don't feel the same resistance, though, to folding laundry. Maybe it's because I'm appreciative to have nice clothes to wear, or they feel soft and warm out of the dryer. Of course, when grandson's socks are inside out, that's a whole other story. Or have you ever noticed that undergarments are often inside out when we retrieve them from the dryer? Why is that? Same question we ask about losing sock mates, right? Well, anyway, we all have things that we don't want to do, don't we? We can make the choice to be grateful to have them to do, since that shows we are living, using things as they can be used. We can choose that state of flow more often as we ask the question throughout the day, is my day a day of flow or resistance? How am I choosing how I'm going to feel today? When grandson asks me, why do I have to do that every day? I then ask, are you going to have a day of resistance or flow? It gives him food for thought. How does he want to feel? Does it feel good to move from one task to another with more ease, or would he rather feel resistant, which leads to a less pleasurable day in the long run? We can ask ourselves the same question. Would I rather feel energized and full of gratitude at the end of the day, or do I want to feel depleted, exhausted, and unhappy? Of course, it helps to choose at least one activity in our daily life that lifts our spirit and puts us in flow naturally. Something easy and fun, or maybe a bit more challenging, like for me, learning a new song on the piano. That can make the mundane tasks less undesirable because at least we did something fun, don't you think? Here's a journaling prompt for you. Make a list of tasks you have for today. Yes, it can be in the form of a to-do list if that works for you. Now look carefully at the items or tasks and ask yourself, does that task make me feel resistant? If so, why? Detail your response in your journal. Then ask the question, how can I make this easier? Is there a better way to go about doing this task that will make it less stressful? Detail whatever comes to mind. You may just find an answer to a long-standing dilemma. Just by giving voice to your angst can help relieve pressure or resistance just by knowing why. How's that for empowering? We all have a choice to make from each moment of our day. We can choose resistance to what is, or what needs to be in order for us to get from point A to point B, or we can choose to enter a state of flow that leads to more ease, joy, gratitude, and aligned living. And to me, that place is a state I want to be in as much as possible, because it increases our experience of personal power, which enables us to leave our meaningful mark in the world. And we all need your meaningful mark in the world. Thank you so much for listening to the Way I See It podcast. I really appreciate it. And if you have found this on YouTube, you are welcome to subscribe to my channel for future episodes. And if you found me on Spotify, you're welcome to follow me for future episodes there as well. You're also welcome to check out my website at dawnherring.net, where I have more journaling resources for your practice. And remember that the way you see it matters.